Yeah, so guys, back at it again. This time looking at Grimnir. This character is very technical and a little bit confusing to kind of explain, so I will do my best. He has some stuff that's more basic, but when it gets into his seals, I'll try my best to explain how to kind of deal with it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the introduction to Grimnir. He's a very unpopular character, I'd say. I don't ever really see him, but he is. I think he's quite strong. I think he has a lot of potential to grow and get stronger. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I know I get destroyed by Grimnir all the time. But anyway, yeah. If you like this style of content, just be sure to like, share and sub. Don't forget to share it with your friends, hit the notification bell so you don't miss more future content like this. I'll link the playlist above, like as I always do, so you can check out the other guides to deal with other characters in the game. And yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so we're going to go over his projectiles. His projectiles are pretty good. He has many different types of trajectories he can kind of go at. So for example, he can go up, he can go full screen, like he can hold it and it'll go faster. Or he can hold it and it will sit in place. And he can like let that travel and then do it later. He doesn't actually have to commit to it straight away. So it can go here and then go up. So bear that in mind. Obviously the medium version goes a bit further. The EX version goes further. And then the ultimate version just goes full screen and is really strong. Probably one of his best moves in terms of ultimate attacks. But anyway, you deal with these just how you deal with most projectiles in the game. So you can like either evade them, or you can literally cross through them. Crossing through them, you have to be a little bit careful, because if he does the version where he goes like this, then you can be like kind of smoked for it, because you can't really cross over because it becomes active in one spot. So you're like, if he does hold it back, as long as you're like on point, you'll get caught by it. So something to bear in mind. This isn't something you're going to see too often, I don't think. But if the Grimnir knows what he's doing, he might be able to like kind of stop you doing your crossover. This is the same for evade. So if you do evade, you'll still get smoked. So if they're using their noggin, then you'll probably get smoked by that. So just bear in mind, he can catch you for crossing over and rolling, but a lot of the time you'll probably just be able to do it normally, because I imagine most Grimnirs will be firing it towards you, or like trying to control the skies. Now when he gets up close in your face, this move becomes a little bit easier to deal with, and I'll show you now. Grimnir's set to crossover now, so as you can see. This is a really good way to deal with his projectiles. So you will be able to cross over all of them. It leaves him -3, so he isn't punishable even by a throw, but you can get your pressure started. But it's obviously for the medium as well, and then the heavy version. Right, and obviously if he does his like forward trajectory, or any of the other ones, so if he goes like this, goes up, you can just completely cross over. I mean, not like he's going to be doing this in your face anyway, but it's just worth noting. However, if he does the back one, again, this one stuffs you. Now, the reason you do want to cross over instead of doing an evade is because if he does the EX version of EX version of this move while you evade, he can get a full combo. So as you can see, it leaves him at -28 if you block this, or -27 depending on when you've done it. So this is why you want to cross over if he's doing this in your face. Now obviously yes, the Grimnir can literally read it and then just run up and throw you, but then again that is just part of it. So it's just about fighting a Grimnir player who might be doing the projectile in your face. It isn't as free as you might think, unless he does this version. The ultimate version is completely true, so there's no gaps in between it, but it will push you back full screen if you end up blocking it anyway. So just bear that in mind. He can, obviously this would be much worse in the corner if he was to use it, but we'll get into this move in a bit. But yeah, you deal with that move exactly the same as you would in the neutral anyway. Like if he fires this move at you, you just evade it. So it's like most ultimate skills that you can just literally evade. You can't cross over, sorry, but you can just evade it like most ultimate skills in the game. So yeah, his projectiles are good. Like I said, the only one that can really cause you an issue is when he does the back version. So that's why you want to cross over. Obviously, you can also DP through these. This goes for everything, obviously, except for the ultimate. Again, the ultimate is true. So yeah, So you can like DP, you can do your evade, a crossover, sorry. So there are two ways to deal with his projectiles when he's using your face, and obviously the third way would be guard cancelling. So you have to time it quite well between when he throws the projectile and when he doesn't. But you should always get a counter hit on him and be able to start your own pressure. So yeah, his projectiles are fairly standard, but I wouldn't say they're too hard to deal with once you kind of know where the trick is. That it kind of leaves a big gap. So yeah, evade in the neutral, and also when he's in your face, make sure you're either crossing over or you're trying to DP, or sometimes obviously just block. But yeah, they are. You shouldn't really be using them in your face. And a common thing you'll kind of see with Grimnir is that a lot of his stuff that he has to do on block without crests on the screen, he has to be a bit more tricky and safer about how he plays. Two things I just wanted to tackle on right at the end because I forgot to mention them. Another way to obviously deal with it in the neutral is just by winning the fireball war. So obviously fireballs clash with each other the more you do them and stuff like that. So that's obviously always going to be an option. Obviously EX version straight through. Ultimate version destroys everything, you know. That's a good option. And the other thing I wanted to mention is if he does the upward trajectory one, then he can't. You can block it in the sky. It's not like, you know, jumping in on him is like a real issue. I think jumping in on him is quite a good idea, and I'll get into why soon when I talk about his anti-airs. But for now, just focusing on this version, the upward trajectory one, it can be blocked in the air. So yeah, there you go. So it is that it'll push you back. You don't have to hold the guard button like I just did. But yeah, it really is just, don't worry about jumping at him too much. He's not like he has an unblockable air projectile. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That covers his projectile really. Right, now we're going to go over his Lariat style moves. These are quite interesting. So if he does them in your face, this one leaves you -4, so you can get a grab punish on him. This one here leaves him -10, so you can get a full combo punish. The EX version, which is the easiest to distinguish, leaves him -13. So if he does that in your face for whatever reason, make sure you get your big combo punish off. And then the ultimate version is -6. Grimnir is quite lucky. He has a 6 frame button that reaches that distance. So you kind of have to be on point if you want to punish that move. There is a better way to do it, which I'll get into in a minute, which involves cross evading. But for now, we're going to focus on these moves, and then we'll get to the ultimate attack. So I'll show you how to kind of deal with them now. So we got the light version. Because it's -4 and he ends up like right in your face, you can always get a throw punish on him. There's not much he can do. Even if he tries to DP, he can't get the impact out in time because it's just a throw punish. So you have to be on point with your throw. You can't punish with anything else at that because -4 is the only... grabs come out in 4 frames, so it's the quickest punish you can do in that moment. So the medium version, you can change how like what the frame data is like. So obviously in your face, it's -10, so that's full combo punch. And obviously most of the time you could probably just grab because it is just easier than distinguishing. But if you have been playing against him a little bit, you can kind of like get an idea. So when he does the light version, he literally just charge. But when he does the medium version, there's a bit of a wind up to it. I don't know if you can see. It might be like a while you can just like train against it, and then you'll be able to get like an eye for it. But literally he's -10 your face, but if he spaces this out, he can end up being like -1. He can even be plus in some circumstances. It's 0 there, so you have to, obviously the more he spaces it out, the more advantageous he can come. But he can only really do that with this one. He can do it with the EX version. Because it's -13, he can't really get as much like advantage off. Like he's still quite close, -6 still, so 6 frame punish is still very much possible. Obviously, it doesn't go as far as the medium version as well. The medium version travels the furthest. He's plus there, see. So yeah, if they're doing it from this distance, evading would be the best option, I'd say. So like if you know it's coming, you just get a punish on him. So, but that's the medium version. But the one you're probably going to see the most is this one, because it's absolutely absurd, and I'll show you why now. Like this move gives him a full combo. I'm just doing a really cheap auto combo now, but the point is, that's pretty good damage just for like what he's done. It's not even hard to confirm off of. So, that is the one you really... they'll use this a lot, so this is one you really want to be looking out for. When he has 50 meter, like, and you're at full screen, just make sure you keep an eye on it. I'd say you might see this move, but you'll see this move like 10 times more because of its return. So if I get him to kind of do it, you have to kind of read he's going to do it. See, like he's -3 here, and you're only +3. That's not enough to kind of get a punish. So you have to be like, oh, he's gonna do it, and then see, even there, it's like it's really like you have to be on point with it. This move like recovers insane. So he goes -7 there. It recovers incredibly fast if you're not on point because of just how the evade works. You can cross over, of course, but your chance of getting a punish are even worse, I think. So you just gotta be like, oh, he's probably gonna do it now. He's 50 meter, and then try and get the punish. Now, one thing to note about him is he doesn't have a meterless reversal, so you'd only have to really worry about him doing, say, this into this if he had 100 meter. So, because that's his only invincible move outside of his supers. So yeah, the way you kind of deal with this move is evade. And to be honest, even if you mess up and you end up like not getting a punish on him, you know, obviously I haven't got him set to block, but like if you don't get a punish on him, then you just need to just continue, just start your pressure. That's the best shot, or just go for a throw. But yeah, this move is a little bit obnoxious to deal with. Obviously, you can always just DP it on reaction. That might be an even better option, to be honest with you, or just super. So yeah, they're kind of like his charge style moves. And obviously, yeah, if you block it and you have a 6-frame button, you can also get a punish. That is another option. So the timing is a little bit rough, though, I'm not going to lie, but that is also an option. But yeah, they're pretty much his like Lariat style moves. Right, so now we're going to go over his anti-airs and his DP, basically. His anti-air, it hits really high up. It can obviously, if you try jump over, you get blown up. And it will still catch you, don't get me wrong, it's not completely useless, but it's got such a vertical hitbox that jumping in on him with, like, say if you space out your jump and try hit him quite deep, you can counter him a lot of the time. So Grimnir has to kind of rely on like these moves. This is his medium version, and then his enhanced version. But none of these are invincible, so they can be smoked by moves still. It's just like if you can't block them in the air. So this is like the moves the SRR. And obviously, I'd say if I was fighting him, I'd say the one I'd be worried about the most would be the medium version or the enhanced version. Obviously, all the DP. DP is the only invincible one. But yeah, on block, he shouldn't be using these in your face, 'cause if he does, he's -6 there. He's -15 after this one, I think, and then after this one, he's probably even worse off. Yeah, -15 again. Yeah, the Grimnir's anti-airs aren't the greatest. He'd have to like go try to take you out the air more. He does have this move here, which I'll get into, which is a great air-to-air tool for him. So he's not completely useless in terms of like stopping you from coming in from the air, but ground, air-to-ground kind of situations, it can be a little bit harder for him to deal with. So jumping on him is a little bit easier than it is with other characters. One thing to note as well, with like I've said with many of my other guides that look at characters that don't have meterless reversals, if they have meter, then play around the DP. Don't forget that they have a DP basically, because they will use it. I find characters who don't have meterless reversals, when they have the meter, they tend to really rely on it, which is cool, you know, they have to, but like that's something you have to bear in mind. Just always keep an eye up here, just to make sure that you're aware of how much meter they have, because you don't want to get stuffed by lose a game to like a random metered reversal because you didn't check something. So yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much the anti-airs, to be honest. There's not too much to say about them. Just obviously don't make it obvious all the time. This can still, don't underestimate this move. It can still hit you, but just remember it is still doable. Like it can still catch you. See, but like if I mistime my anti-air, yeah, see, like I have to like really be on point to kind of get it. So just bear that in mind. Okay, so now we're going to go over this move here. This is kind of like his just follow-up for an air-to-air. It's quite good for like dragging the opponent down or pulling them off to the ground for a combo. Like after an air-to-air, you can like drag them down like that. It's something to be aware of. It doesn't do a horrendous amount of damage in the mid-screen, so if you've got a Grimnir player that's doing it in the mid-screen, it's not too bad. Just throws you on the floor. However, like if he does it in the corner, you could be in a much worse state because he gets a full combo. He's obviously got the ultimate version. Which just puts you in a down state. The biggest weakness of this move is how awful it is on whiff. You notice all these ones, they have like terrible whiff recovery. So it's kind of just like, if he does it, in the neutral, you just need to be like, oh, okay, I can run in now and get a 6-6L from this distance, for example. Or if he's doing this version, same version, sorry, the medium version, he'll pull you in. Obviously, if he's jumping in on you, you'll be able to anti it very easily. It's not too bad, it's quite slow. So it really isn't too bad. Obviously, Grimnir has one that reaches the bloody moon, but it's still nothing too hard to kind of deal with if you see it coming. The real strength of this move is being able to like contest people in the air. Obviously, after clash, it's very good as well. So like, if he does it on clash, you're not going to win anything at that rate. You've kind of just been had. So it really is just that kind of. Also, another weakness I'd say. I think this is pretty important. This version of the move, like the Gran version, it's tied to the same bar as this version of the move. So if he uses this in the sky, the EX one to be noted, he's lost access to his Lariat. So obviously not the ultimate version, that's still there, but he's lost access to the standard version of the Lariat. So his maneuverability is a little bit weaker. But yeah, that's kind of just it. Alright, so now we're going to talk about his unique mechanic, which is this little thing here. By itself, it's not that great without the seals on the screen. Once the seals on the screen, this move becomes a lot better. But we're going to talk about without the seals because at the beginning of the round he starts with no seals on the pitch. So basically, what they'll try and do, you can cancel it from any normals. They'll do stuff like this, and they go in the air. Once he's committed to this, he is fair game. He has got some options. He can cancel into his air normals, for example. The one you're going to see the most is probably this one, because it leaves him plus. But this is really reactable once you know it's coming, especially when there's no seals on the screen. That's one thing you kind of need to be aware about. When there's no seals, then this move is pretty much fair game. With the seals, it's a little bit more nuanced, but we'll get into the seal section next. But yeah, so basically, if he runs in, you know, you're blocking, he does it, you easily get a 2H. He's blocking, you can get a DP, or air unblockable in the case of Grimnir. You can jump, get a throw, and you know, world's your oyster at that point. You can do a crossover, get a combo. So yeah, on its own, it's not very good for the Grimnir player to be doing this. But we'll cover it with the seals now, because that's when it starts to become a little bit more of a threat. Alright, so this next section is going to all be about seals. This is his unique mechanic. Right, first things about seals. There can only be 4 on the screen at once. He has many ways of doing it. This is the enhanced version, and they'll always end up in this pattern. Okay. When you do the ultimate version of the attack, it's the exact same, but it has a physical attack on the end, so he can use it in combos. He can do it in the air, and that's all versions. When he wants to do the light and medium versions, he can manually start setting them on the screen. So you can start placing them anywhere. If he holds it, it will go further. If he doesn't hold it, it will go closer. One thing to note, wherever the last seal was placed, that is where he will attempt to go. Like, so if you were paying attention to where his seals were, you'll know that it's the 4th one, this the last one, and that's where he'll go. And when he summons a new one, it will just delete the last one's place, like the first one that was placed, so he'll just hop back to this one. This will be the last one that was placed now. When it's this version, he'll make the attempt to get to this version. Obviously, he can't go full screen, so you don't have to worry about that. Like, when he's doing it from like this distance, he'll cross you up. But yeah, he won't. He'll always attempt to get to the last seal. That's how he kind of works. There's no way for the Grimnir to control which seal he's going to, just as long as he knows which one was placed last. So now, knowing where he's going will seriously give you an advantage. It's like, oh, it's not completely random. He's not just flying around the screen. Like, he has some, you have some idea of where to plan around, how to predict his offense. Now, these things will stay on the screen forever. They don't go. Not like most setup tools in the game. They have like a time limit. This doesn't. He also won't go if he blocks. He also won't go if he takes a hit. They just stay on the screen. So you don't have to worry about like getting rid of them because they are just stuck there. So they're just added bonus to him. So now we're going to go over like what he can kind of do with the seals. So once they're set on the screen, he has access to. So he'll when he hovers over them, he has access to a unique mechanic where he can fly between them, and he can fly in any direction. He can go up, he can go back, like diagonally back. He can go forward and diagonally go forward and back. He can go anywhere he wants. All right. But one thing to note is, like, say if he has one seal on the screen, and he has nowhere else to go. Say if he goes up, like this, diagonally back, that's the direction he has to stay going in. But the minute he has this and say this on the screen, he has options for 2 directions he can take. And obviously the more you have, the more directions he can take. Like, he is limited to whatever his seals are, how many seals he has left. So, and if he goes back like this, like say if that's the direction he takes, you can confidently say there's nothing else he can do. Like, he can come down like that. You know, like he can drop to the floor with his unique move. So that's one thing he can do, but that's all he's going to be doing. Like, he's not going to be changing his momentum anymore. So as long as he has seals on the screen, he's pretty strong. So one thing he can do with the seals, if you block, he's -2. So it's not like he gets to assert pressure on you and then continue doing your his move. So if you block it, it is you're okay to attack. However, if he is near another seal, say like this, say if he's like this, then he can frame trap you by delaying the dash attack, and he can get a combo off that. So that's the idea of him delaying against it and stuff. So if he has 2 seals like of close vicinity to each other, he will be able to frame trap you. It's a lot harder for him to do it from here. See, he doesn't reach the seal in time. But like, if he set it up in such a way that you're gonna like not be able to stop him, then he can frame trap you. Also worth noting, he can put seals on top of each other. So he can go like, you can continuously use a point. There might be some Grimnir setups where using 2 is ideal. So I know here, I go like, I don't know, down, back, down, like something like that. But just bear that in mind, he can put them on top of each other. And that's also important to know where the last one was. Just make sure you're just paying attention to wherever the last seal was. Now in the corner, this gets a little bit more dangerous. So when he uses them in the corner, they clump up together, so they don't like go out and spread out like they did before. You know, and even like the closer they get to the corner, the more they clump up. And then his frame trapping becomes a lot better. And he can start doing stuff like that. Obviously, I don't play Grimnir, so you'll probably see some more like interesting stuff that Grimnir players can do. But just so you know that pressing buttons between the dashes isn't a good idea, then you'll have a much easier time defending against him. So one thing that might happen is you'll get... they'll do it like on wake up, they'll throw you down and then they'll put a load of seals around you, and that's usually when you'll see this setup. And the way you kind of want to defend against it is like this. So they say he throws you, he sets the seals, just guard, cancel them off. That's one good option. Obviously you can always just DP. Just make sure you're doing it between the hits. You know, like, he can block obviously, because like I said, this is -2, so he has got the option to literally do nothing. So you go like this and he can just block. Or you can do this and he can grab. So he has got that. So sometimes when you're in this sort of like checkmate situation, just guard breaking them off you is probably the best idea. But full screen, I wouldn't worry about too much. I'm going to get into how to deal with him. I've purposely left the gameplay for the end, because I feel like I need to explain exactly how he works to fully explain what you want to do against him, because he's a little bit more complicated than other characters. But we'll get into what you're supposed to do about him now. Okay, so fighting this character, what do we kind of want to do? What's the game plan? Right, so putting everything together we know his anti-airs aren't that good, so you need to be jumping in on him much more than you would other characters. Obviously don't get too predictable. Try space out your jump as well, just because you know how bad his anti-air is. Like, it could be much easier, and it's much harder for him to do the the 623 ones because it's just an input. It's a bit harder, even with this simple input, because they're not invincible. He gets stuffed out more. On to my next point, keep an eye on his meter as well, because he has these moves. His moves like 214 U. So if you see this move or you think he's going to do it at full screen, you got to remember to make sure that you're ready to dodge, so that you can beat the move. So this is one you'll see at the end. He'll always do that to close out a round because of how it's so quick. It's safe, fair and mat. It's not completely safe. He can get punished for doing it, but it's practically safe if you're not on point. So you should try and dodge that. So I'm being about keeping an eye on his meter. Make sure that you're keeping an eye on where his last seal was. Remember that if he does this one, it's always this one. It's always the last seal. If he sets up manually, make sure you're doing that. Make sure that you're keeping an eye on where he's placing his seals, because then you can like plan where you want to go. So for example, say he sets up his seals, like, oh yeah, okay, cool, and he's zipping and zipping. You can literally anti-air him, knowing that he's going to, if he's going to go to this seal, you know that that would be the one. Or even like you can interrupt him. So if you're quick enough, say, oh, you know, okay, he's moving up. So where's he going to go? The only seal he can go to in this example is here. So you go there or back. You've done a low commitment poke. You can knock him out of the air. You know, it's just stuff like that. Like kind of like you kind of got to ascertain where he's kind of going to go, and that's the way you kind of do it. Obviously, he could just do this. He could go and then back. But you know what? Like you've just jumped up and just done a little thing to kick him down. And then he's like on the floor, you know. The main goal should be to push him to the corner. He's a lot slower, so he does definitely rely on his seals to get around. Like once he's there on the screen, he's much faster. So he's got this slower dash, and he's quite floaty. He's actually a bit slower at falling most of the characters in the game. So yeah, once you've got him into the corner, again, keep an eye on his meter. You know, be sure to look out for the invincible reversal. Make sure to safe jump him if it comes to it. You know, so oh, I keep an eye on the fact he has meter, safe jump, you know, get your combo. That's simple. Just another thing to kind of just be aware of. You need to just be paying attention to what he has. Like, is with all metered reversal characters. And finally, again, I'll just reiterate, when you have him in the corner, and he's doing, so when he has you in the corner, and he's doing his seal moves like this, just make sure to guard cancel, keep him off you, you know, or like DP. You know, obviously, yeah, he can block, but like, just see what the Grimnir player is kind of doing. But yeah, that's it. He's a very technical character, so explaining him is a little bit tricky, but I hope that I've kind of got across my points of what I wanted to kind of say. Obviously, if there's anything you kind of feel like I missed or you could use more help on, just put it in the comments below and I'll do my best to try and explain a little bit better. But yeah, essentially it is, because his neutral control is so good, it's about like basically playing around his neutral. That's kind of just it. Like, so he does this, you know where he's going, you know he's going this way, he'd go that way. So anyway, that is kind of just Grimnir. But yeah, no, that covers the Grimnir guide. Obviously, look forward to more stuff in the future. If there's any characters that you struggle to deal with, just write them down in the comments below, and I will see if I can't do anything about it. But yeah, until then, take care, swines.